Hey everybody. So, it's been a few days. My week has been kind of crazy. Today is Friday. I was hoping to be here playing around before today, but again, my week just ended up being a little crazy. So, I am here today, finally getting a moment to work on some journal stuff. And I'm peeling the glue off of my little pad right now as I talk to you. Finally getting a moment to work on some journal stuff. I am planning to do nothing but journals tomorrow. I'm in between journals right now. I don't have anything that I'm currently working on, so when I'm in those spaces, I kind of get it's a weird space for me. When I don't have anything specifically lined up to jump into, I have a custom order that I'm going to work on soon, but it's not due till September, so I've got a little bit of time on it. So my thought process was to kind of tackle a few smaller journals and then get started on that one. So I'm still kind of collecting stuff for it. So I think what I'm going to work on next is a Black Crow journal. I keep playing around with thoughts on this, and I have several different ways that my thoughts can go. My friend Mary Ellen at Red Parrot sent me some Happy Mail a week or so ago, and in it was this beautiful, beautiful piece. It's out of a bird book, and I absolutely love it. I just haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. It's been kind of sitting and staring at me since I got it. Initially, I thought, oh my gosh, that would be beautiful on a cover, but he's really pretty big, so I haven't decided I'm going to do that yet. My other option was just to trim his edges down a little bit and actually frame him and put him on my wall because he's just so pretty. So I haven't decided. Haven't decided what to do with this. And I haven't decided exactly how this journal is going to go. I printed off some images from the internet, free images, of some black crows that I really liked. I have a book. I got it online. It's a children's book, and my initial thought was, it's a little magpie. My initial thought was that I'd do something with, with this children's book. But first off, he's more of a magpie, so he's got a lot of white on him. But second off, there's really not a lot to the story, if that makes any sense. Basically, it's called More, and it's about a little magpie who keeps collecting stuff, because that's what magpies do. And it's super cute, but he's not a crow, but he's so cute. So, again, I have kind of an idea to, I got two different ways I could take this crow book, this crow journal. One is the magpie way, where he collects a bunch of stuff, and that's why I printed off this thing. It's a little children's book with some little trinkets and all that. And the other is kind of more of a dark, somber type feel, with just some grays and dark crow type stuff. That's kind of where I'm going with this one, I think. This is just a regular book that I've covered in some fabric. This fabric was in a haul that I just got this last weekend or so, and some fabric scraps. It's really pretty, dark, and kind of spooky. This crow will fit. He will fit on this. You know, I could trim him down a bit and fit him on here, but he will take up all of this. So, for example, these are the inside flaps that I'm going to attach here in a minute. This is essentially the front cover size, and so if you look, you can't really see because of the lighting, but he takes up all of it. So I don't know. I still haven't decided. So I kind of, in the meantime, until I decide, my thought process was I was just going to kind of work on this. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, why are you going pink? I'm going pink because I just got done dyeing some paper with avocado, and if you know anything about paper dye, avocado dyed paper is a little pink. It's over on the kitchen counter. It's wet right now, so my plan is to use the avocado paper in this. So I kind of wanted to do some pinks and blacks and grays. And I have a good handful of scrapbook paper that is the pinks and blacks and grays that I think will be really pretty with it. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. So with that, I'm thinking I need to stick to the more somber black crow pictures. This picture says the crow's nest. I could maybe easily, oh, let's cause an avalanche here. Let me trim this off real quick. Kind of trim it down. My doors are open. We've got thunderstorms rumbling. So you may hear a little bit of that. So I could put this on the cover and, you know, do something with this image on the cover and basically call this book The Crow's Nest. I could easily do that. I'm very indecisive with this, and part of me don't like to be that way because I don't have a direction that I'm going with. But then the flip to that is that I don't have a direction, so I just kind of let it go in the direction it wants to go. So there is that. There is always that option. So, you know, so we could do something like this. Of course, decorate around the edges of it and all that. But to me, kind of the crow's nest kind of makes me think of back to the trinkets and things like that. All the things you'd find in a crow's nest, you know, as they collect things. So I don't know again. But you're here with me now. I'm going to play around with these images, play around with working on my cover a little bit, and just kind of start piecing it together and kind of, I guess, just see where it goes is kind of it's kind of what I'm going to do with this guy. And just hope for the best, I guess. I've just been so indecisive about this. I think, which is why I haven't really started on it. But I'm here today, and we're gonna get started because I haven't been crafting in a while, and I am already rambling enough to where I'm forgetting what I'm doing. But we're just gonna go with it. I was gonna darken the edges a little bit. If any of you watched any of my craft with me videos, or create with me videos, whatever you want to call them, with the wild things, you know, I did a lot of the edges. Like, I aged my papers, my edges and all that with some shoe polish, some brown shoe polish. Now, I don't really want to do brown in this book because, again, we're gray and blacks and all that. So I really don't want to do brown. So I'm debating on, do I want to make a special trip to the store to pick up some black shoe polish, which I'm kicking myself because when I picked up the brown, I should have picked up the black too, but I didn't. So do I want to make a special trip to pick up some black shoe polish so I can work with this? Or do I just want to use, I've got a big pad of black ink. Do I just want to make do with that? Decisions. Right now I'm just playing around with the, more than likely I'm just going to use the black ink that I have. Again, use what I have. Isn't that my motto? That's what I'm supposed to be doing. So, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to try to use what we have. So I covered this book with fabric, and now I'm kind of just putting my inside pieces in for the inside cover. The spine was kind of loose, kind of thin, so I added a piece of cardboard here to kind of strengthen my spine. And typically, which normally, I gotta get with the program here. Get with the program, Shell. Normally, I would go ahead and add, before I put this paper down, I would add my athletic tape to kind of, again, strengthen my spine. But I think I'm gonna be okay because I've fabric covered it completely. So I feel pretty okay. The book wasn't in horrible shape, so I'm feeling pretty okay with that, with the spine. I just needed it to be a little thicker. So that's why I added the cardboard. You know, sometimes you get the older books and like this part of the spine is real weak or worn. That was not the case with this, so I feel pretty okay. I feel pretty okay. I'm using my handy dandy Weld Bond. It's my favorite glue. I know a lot of people use Fabri-Tac and art glitter glue and all that, but I've been using Weld Bond for many years with my collage, and it just works for me. So that is what we use. This little spreader thing is kind of nice. I don't know if you saw the video where I was telling you where I got it, but I got it at the dollar store. It is a makeup applicator. It's made out of silicone. So once this dries, you don't really have to wash it. Once this dries, I can just peel it off like dried glue, because that's what it is, dried glue. So it's kind of nice. And it saves my fingers because I'm a messy artist and I normally just slather that stuff on with my finger. So it helps keep my fingers clean. Okay. Not entirely even, but we're going with it because, you know, we just do that. We just go with it. I got to figure out some sort of fabric to put on my spine cover. Oh, it's not entirely even, and I'm trying not to let it bug me. So, that's that. Again, I got to figure out, cover my spine, but other than that, we're good to go right there. Try to use my glue book. Okay, so I want to play around with these. This one's kind of big, so he may end up being something more than just a journal card. This one is too, but let's see here. May have to trim them down a little bit, but so went to Kansas City last weekend, hung out, did a little bit of thrifting and shopping, and I did my thrift haul video. And that's kind of pretty much all I've been, anything important that I've done this last week. I've just been kind of really busy. Did dinner with my daughter once, and dinner with my best friend once, and so I just haven't had a moment. And again, I'm in the middle of journals, and so it's not like I had, you know, in the evenings, if I just have an hour or so to work on journals, I have the mentality that I can't start something new. I think mainly because if I start something new, I'll get excited about it, and I won't want to stop in an hour. So I try not to start something new when I don't have enough time to really get into it. It's Friday afternoon. I'm off today. I ran a few errands, and I'm off tomorrow, and so I have nothing going on. So I thought, you know, I'm just gonna jump in, and if I am working on this at midnight tonight, that's okay. If I'm still feeling it, still working on it, then that is okay. We are gonna go with it. These images I printed off the internet from my mind's blank right now as to the website. I think it's like a Flickr type website. It's images, stock images, but they are free from everything that I could read or see. And I just searched Black Crow. These are a few that came up. So again, I've got it in my brain to kind of do a magpie type crow book with all the stuff that a little crow collects. But I'm not feeling it right now. I'm feeling the more somber. That sounds bad, but I'm feeling the more somber crow right now. And like I said, I just dyed a batch of avocado paper. So I'm kind of feeling that pink. So we're just going to kind of go with that feel. Okay, did I get them all? I think so. 3 big ones and 3 smallish ones. That's kind of what I ended up with. So I have some paper that I've been playing around with. Trying to figure out the best option for a journal card. Decisions. I think what I'll do is I love this paper here. It's like a handmade paper. It's really textured. but it's, that's all I have, and this is the size that I have. Obviously in some paper scraps, so. But I could trim him down, but I don't really want to do that. So let's just maybe work with these. Try not to round any of my corners, although, you know me, I do like a rounded corner, but I'm going to try not to go that route with this. This paper is textured, so I need to kind of make sure I get him good and stuck on there. And I am going to sew around this. I'll use that as well. Again, make sure it's good and stuck. It's not folding up in the textures. I need to trim him just a little. As you can see, I'm willy-nilly cutting. I don't do well with that. But so, jumped on here today in my art space and was going to work on a journal, get started on something new, and I couldn't decide which one I was going to work on. I played around with wanting to do that Raggedy Ann and Andy. I've got a whole stash of Raggedy Ann and Andy stuff I've been collecting for a while. Or did I want to start on my crow, or what I wanted to start on. Ultimately, I decided to do the crow. Although I may, before the day's over, I may do some Raggedy Ann and Andy too. It's awfully thin. I think I feel like I need get a couple of journals started, and then I'll have plenty to work on in the evenings when I get home, and just have an hour or so to work on it, then I can jump into something I'm already working on. How do you guys do that? Do you have one that you work on, or do you work on several at a time, or what works best for you? Typically, I work on one at a time, depending on what I've got going on. Like, I mean, I may do as much as I can do with this crow tonight, but my paper is still wet, my avocado paper, so I can only do so much with it. So if I get to that point to where I'm waiting on that paper to dry, then, and I'm still feeling it, then I will probably start something new. I printed this these few crow pictures out because there's writing space is my thinking. That's my initial thinking with picking these out. I could have a little crow, but I could also have plenty of writing space. So, sorry, I'm picking glue off my fingers. Okay, now if we trim him down just a teach, just a little titch. Then he'll fit on this card. And I have two of these. It's little cardstock cards. So we'll try that. Again, I'm going to stitch these, of course not on camera because my sewing machine's kind of loud, I think. So but I did want to come on here and do a little create with me with you guys. I feel like it's been a little while. What's the deal? Why are we not lining up? We are not lining up because we just willy-nilly cut. I feel like it's been a while since I've been on with you guys. And so, thought I would do a little create with me while I got this started. Now, trim him up. Also been thinking about, and I may go ahead and do that. Also been thinking about, so before I was into collage really big, I did a lot of scrapbooking. I think I've mentioned this before in my videos. I've scrapped, my daughter's 25 now, I've scrapped the first 18-ish or so years of her life. And that's what I did before I got into collage. And then then I got into collage really big, and then here I am in journal making. All paper crafts, but I'll tell you, in all my years of scrapbooking, my most favorite thing to do was actual scrapbooking. I didn't really particularly care for, if any of you are familiar with scrapbooking, I didn't particularly care for like the pre-made layouts and the kits where you have all this stuff you have to use and the pictures have to go here, and I was never really have been a fan of that way of scrapbooking. See, here's what happens when you don't cut with a ruler and you just willy-nilly cut. It takes a minute to line things up. But anyways, I've always been a fan of just really scrapbooking, taking scraps and creating your pages and things like that. And So I think that's where my love of collage and paper crafting and all that really started to manifest. It was bubbling back then. I have unfortunately kind of had the mindset since I was a little kid that you can't do anything with art. You know, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be an artist. Well, that won't make you money. What else do you want to be? You know, has kind of been my raisin. Not my raisin per se, because that kind of points it to my mom and dad, and I don't fault them for anything like that. But, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be an artist. Well, that's not going to pay the bills. So what do you want to be when you grow up? It's kind of always been the way I understood art. And so it wasn't until my later years that I realized that I don't have to make money at art. I can just do art because it's fun and I like to do it. And so, yeah. That's kind of my thinking, is now that I know better, I do better, you know. And by that I mean I just explore art in all its forms. And paper art is the one I come back to every time. I've done a lot of paintings in my life. I've played around with drawing and charcoal and pastel, and I just always come back to cutting and gluing paper. So, that being said, this is nice and crooked. And I'm going to kind of leave this like it is on this page because I haven't decided if I want to do this on the cover or not. And so I'll trim it down whenever I decide. One thing I need to do is, I talked about it, but I didn't do it, is the edges. Now, hopefully I'm not going to mess this up. I did a little test with the, I don't know if you can see or not. I did a little test with the black ink around the edge here, and I like it. And so I'm just going to kind of go with it. Maybe I should start, the inside, cover the inside of it. That way I can I should have done this to these before I glued them in, but I wasn't thinking because I was talking. Y'all had me sidetracked. So we got to come back and make it work. I will say this. I feel like when I used the shoe polish, it kind of gave me like almost like a paste to work with, if that makes any sort of sense. Where this is just really dry. I can manipulate the shoe polish a little better, I guess is what I'm saying. This is just kind of dry ink on the page. It's okay, I like it. It's just, Just drier than the shoe polish, but it'll work. It'll work. It'll work. It'll work. I really feel like that edge needs to be trimmed, corner around it or whatever, but we're gonna leave it alone. We're gonna leave it alone. I actually think I might have some gray ink. Probably could have got that out and played with that. I think I've used it before on something. I just don't have a lot of the, like the oxide dyes, the inks, things like that. Mainly because they're just too expensive for me. I can't convince myself that it's worth it to pay that kind of money. Not when I can make do with other random things around here. The inks that I already have, or a $2 thing of shoe polish, or, you know, just kind of hard to rationalize spending that kind of money for those inks, to me. If that works for you and that's in your budget, then more power to you. I'm glad, because you're getting to use like the real stuff, the good stuff. I hear the rain. I'm afraid my little dauber thing is wearing down. I used him all through my Wild Things book, and that was a big book, and I used him quite a bit, so I'm afraid that he's breaking down on me. That's nice and smoky. I like that. I mean, this cardstock paper was already kind of smoky, but that black really smoked it up. Anyways, I was talking about scrapbooking, and I'm playing around with the thought of doing some flip throughs. I feel like I'm having some deja vu here. So those of you who've seen all or most of my videos, you can tell me, you've already said this, Michelle, you've already talked about this. But I'm playing around with the thought of going through and doing some flip throughs on some of my scrapbooks. Not of my daughter's life, but of some other books that I've done. Playing around with the idea. So I may jump on here and do that this weekend. I essentially don't have anything going on Sunday either. It's Father's Day. My father passed in December, so not really got anything going on to celebrate that. I am planning to have dinner with my mom Sunday, but that still leaves me open to do whatever around the house on Sunday during the day. So I could essentially have this afternoon, this evening, all day tomorrow and tomorrow evening and most of the day Sunday to work on journals. Essentially. We'll just see what happens. I've got all my chores done, my laundry done, all that good stuff. So I don't have to worry about that. Change the sheets on my bed. And like I said, all my laundry's done. So that's what I did this morning. Just got all that done. So I could just really focus on being able to create. So I'm going to stitch around these guys. They're kind of big journal cards. Yeah, they'll fit. He is kind of wide, but I'll just have to be very careful with that. I'm going to stitch around these so we'll have some journal cards to work with. And then, what do you think? How about this? Let's trim him down straight. And then if he doesn't work for the cover, then he will work for a journal card. How's that? Let's just see if we can cut straight even with a... No, we can't. Because he's glued on wrong. Yep, I thought that's what was going to happen. Okay. Okay, we're straightening up, we're straightening up. Yes, I am that OCD about things being straight. It's really hard for me to just willy-nilly. Really hard for me to do that. Okay, where did my cover go? Let's add some ink to this guy. I'm going to kind of go over this snow. Kind of tone it down a little bit with my residual, so he's not so bright. Now, what do you think? What do you think? Does this set us a somber mood? I think I kind of like that. I think I kind of like that. Okay, so before I glue this down, I gotta think, Shell. Try to decide if you want or what we need for our tie. Ooh, that's off on color. Although that was a nice piece of silk from my friend Mary Ellen. How about this? I think that's off as well. Okay. Let's see what else we have. I may have trouble finding a matching color or a coordinating color unless we did like a gray. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. So she sent me this. This was in some Happy Mail. She sent me this one is all silk. I don't see any kind of a matching pink or any kind of a gray. Really pretty stuff. But I don't see any kind of a gray in the silk. So I'll set that aside. Now this is the one that is not silk. She says likely polyacetate. Mainly letting me know that in case I need to, in case I want to use an iron with it. So I'm actually kind of leaning towards this. I'm going to see if I can, because it's so wide, I don't want it so wide. You have to excuse that ringing in the background. That's my work phone. I'm off work today, so it's just gonna ring. Okay, yes, I like that. Okay, let me make sure I'm gonna be able to tie. Oh yes, we shall be able to tie. Okay. Now, we figured that out. Thanks, Mary Ellen, for the knot silk. That's going to work perfectly. Thank you. Okay. Now, what was I doing? Got to decide how I'm going to use this. If I'm going to... We're going to tie, I think we'd be okay to tie we can run him through the middle. I kind of like doing that sometimes. Yeah, let's do that. We'll run him through the middle and we'll put an eyelet here. Let's see here. I, of course, don't have any. My eyelet stash is pretty slim pickings. I have one gray one, of course. I have two silver ones. I can do silver eyelets. Or white. What do you think? I think we'll go with silver. These are so small. I think we'll go with silver. Hopefully my big head's not in the way. I'm trying to decide if these are, I guess it's not that big a deal, they're silver. Don't overthink it, Shell, don't overthink it. take the glue off your fingers. And so I'm going to use my little bitty crocodile. Let's see here. You like how I measure that? We just go with it. Just go with it. Okay. Got those done. Pretty even-ish. Perfect. Okay, so we have eyelets in here. So let's see here. Go in there. Oh, I didn't get you after all. I say that, now I jinxed myself for this one. Nope. Okay. So, what I will do is I will glue this down. Right now. I'm going to kind of try to spread it out because I want it flat. And let's see here. What is something heavy I could put on this to kind of keep it. Don't look, don't laugh. Just need it weighed down for a little bit. Okay. And we'll do this on the front. Now I'm going to ink around this a little bit. And you know, time flies when I'm hanging out with you guys. Okay. So we'll do this on the front cover. And we've got this knot silk that we'll use for the tie. And so I'm going to let this kind of sit and glue and dry and all that while I sew these cards. And maybe some on this for accent. And then, yeah, So I will continue working on this, and then I'll be back maybe later with some more so you can see some progress, and or if I start on something else, I'll be back. So thanks for joining me. Sorry I've been gone for a couple days. Again, I was just trying to get back in the groove of things. But I'm back. I'm here. So we are creating in chaos. So thanks for joining me. Hopefully by now you've liked this video and subscribed to my page and you're following me. And as always, please feel free to add a comment. I am pretty particular about my comments. I will answer any comments. I want to acknowledge that you guys are here and seeing my stuff, and acknowledge that I appreciate it so much. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you soon.